I ain't gonna be on here this long, but I told myself I'm gonna go live, make it public, talk some shit for a little bit. You know what I mean? Have some fun with y'all. Excuse me. But you see that title. I definitely want to have this conversation. I thought it was good times though. Me just thinking about it, good times, damn good times. Um, Nonetheless, excuse me. Just gonna sit here for a little bit, and then I'm gonna tell my story, and then from there I'm gonna get my butt off of here. Call it a day. But hey, how y'all doing out there, man? I know it's just me on here talking to myself, which is cool too. Hopefully you catch this thing on the replay. But what's good though? Like I said, I'm just gonna sit here for a little bit, and then I'm gonna talk some shit, and then I'm out of here. But as I said, I want to spend more time with y'all on these lives publicly and just talk on the fly. So obviously, if you want to get in the comments, ask questions, talk shit, hey, what's up? But I already know how it goes. If there's a decent amount of people that's in the live, people are going to flock. If not, people are not. I know how it works. But yeah, man, I'm going to sit here for about another couple of minutes. And then I'm going to tell the story and get the hell out of here. But yeah, you got something to say? Come on, holler at me. Come on, holler at me. But yeah, we 2 minutes in. Give it another minute or so, and then I'm gonna tell my story, man. Tell y'all how I got done dirty by Street Fighter. Got my ass whoa out. When I mean whoa out, I remember that ass whooping like it was yesterday. I was just talking to my mama about it today. I was just asking mama about it. I was like, Mom, you remember that? I was like, you remember the last ass whooping you gave me? She was like, what you talking about, boy? So of course, I had to go into the story. I'm gonna give it another 30 seconds, y'all, and then I'm gonna go into it on why Street Fighter. I mean, it was kind of due to myself, but I'm holding Street Fighter responsible for the shit. You understand? I'll give it another 10 seconds, y'all, and then I'll go into talking. I don't want to waste nobody's time. But at the same time, we're just here to enjoy one another. You know what I mean? That's what it's all about. Enjoy one another. Go into the comments, say what you want to say, things of that nature. All right. So let your mans tell the story. Let me tell you the story. So I know a lot of y'all young folks. Y'all know Street Fighter 10. I mean, I said Street Fighter. This is Street Fighter, like the new Street Fighters. This was Super Street Fighter 2. Who remembers Super Street Fighter 2? It was on Super Nintendo. It was on Sega Genesis. So your man's kind of telling his age right now. So let me get to it though. So your man's had a Sega Genesis, right? And Super Street Fighter 2 had just came out. So, I want to play Street Fighter. Now, nowadays, y'all got shit. Y'all can order stuff online, I'm assuming, because I don't play many video games nowadays. My son does, but I don't. I'm pretty sure y'all can order stuff online. Y'all can tell me how it goes nowadays. Y'all order stuff online. It's more accessible for y'all or to y'all now. Back in the day, we had this. You had Blockbusters. You had Stone's Video. You had these different stores, brick and mortar, where you would have to go to these stores and they maybe have 2 or 3 copies at a time of the same game. And hopefully they had the game. And then, of course, you would order it. And once you order it, you would have to bring it back, at a certain time the next day. If not, you have to pay a late fee. All right. So anyway, Super Street Fighter 2 come out and I'm hyped. It's sold out. You can't really go buy it anywhere right now, but you can rent it. So I go to this game. I think it was called Stone's Video. This was back in New Madrid, right? So your man's, I'm like, hey, Mom, can you take me to Stone's Video? I want to get Super Street Fighter 2. She said, okay, I got some time. I'll run you to New Madrid. New Madrid about 2 or 3 miles away, right? But I'm in the country. For those that don't know, I'm from a town that has less than 400 people. I'm going to repeat that. I'm from a town where I grew up from the time I was a baby until I graduated out of high school. That town has less than 400 people. I'm from the country. Okay. Anywho, my mom's, she takes me to Stone's video or whatever. We had the Stone's video. Super Street Fighter 2's there. So, I'm hyped as hell. I'm like, oh, Super Street Fighter 2 here? Let's go. So I get Super Street Fighter 2 to my surprise, because again, it just came out as one of the more popular games out there at this time. So I get it, get to the house. Of course, I'm playing. I'm having a good, flip, Hadouken, flip, doing all the moves, having a good time. Now, play the game, have a good time. Of course, at this time, I'm a game head. And so, me, I'm playing games for hours. Y'all think y'all used to play? Y'all think y'all be on games for hours? I used to be on games for hours. We're talking about, I get a game. If I'm playing a game at 3:00 p.m., I'm probably playing that thing to 3 a.m. or 6. I'm talking about back in the day when the shit, my doctor used to get super hot. And I'm on it like that. I got the cartridge anyway. So I'm playing the game. Fast forwarded, next day come. Now, on this particular day, your mans have to go and the game has to be turned back in, I think by 5:00, something like that. If you're not, you get a late fee. Now, it's about 1:00 p.m. I say, hey, Mom, I want to go down the street to my man's Robert house, right? It's my boy. His name was Robert. He stayed down there close to the park. I said, can I go down there? Because, I want to show out and show him that I got the new Street Fighter. She like, that's fine. But don't be late. Don't bring this game back late, And so I say, yes, ma'am. I'm cool. I take the game down the street. And Robert, he has a Sega Genesis. I just bring the Super Street Fighter cartridge. Get down there. I'm like, bro, I got that Super Street Fighter. He like, for real? So I go in there. We start playing and stuff like that. And so what ends up happening was I was like, hey, bro, I'm going to take a little nap. Y'all probably know where this is about to go. I'm going to take a little nap. You can play, but just wake me up in about an hour or so. All right. So I fall asleep, get up, slob everywhere. You know how this goes. And I'm like, hey, bro. I'm like, bro, what time is it? Because that's the first thing on my mind, because Mom said I can she trusts me to take the game, but she said, make sure you bring it back in time. I think she needed it back by 4 or something like that. Because, New Madrid's only 2-3 miles away. He's like, bro, it's 5:30. Excuse me? What'd you say? Bro, it's 5:30. Oh, I'm thinking to myself, I know he trolling me right now. Because I already told him I needed to get it back at a certain time. Because I left that out. I didn't tell y'all. I told him, I said, wake me up an hour. I got to have it back by this time. Because my mom wanted it back. She don't have a late fee. Now, just like me, he was into it, and time go, you know how this goes when you play video games. Time just flies by. So anywho, play the video. He wakes me. He's like, it's 5:30. And I'm like, shit. So I'm like, hey, bro, I got to go. I get the game. Of course, I walk out. Now, I'm already sad because I already know where this is going to go. You understand? Start walking. As I'm walking slow. I'm heading back to the apartments, okay? That's where we stayed, in apartments called Brick City. So I'm walking. As I'm walking to the house, to the apartments, my mom see me. She's driving in the car, hun, auntie. She's like, where the damn game, man? That's the first thing she said. She's like, where the game? I gave it to her. She's like, take your ass to the house. You know where this is going, right? So I give her the game. Longest walk of my life, y'all. It ain't even a long walk, right? Because I go down there and visit often. I have a great relationship with my mom, great relationship with my dad and stuff like that. But at this moment as a kid, longest walk of my life. Start walking. I'm kind of whimpering because I'm not accustomed to a lot of whoopings. I was one of the kids that always listened. I didn't get a lot of whoopings growing up. So anywho, I'm walking. And I'm sniffling. I'm like, shit, this woman finna kill me. And I didn't even outgrow my mom until maybe my sophomore year in high school. You see what I mean? My mom is about 5'10". You see what I mean? And so anywho, I'm walking, I'm sniffling, I'm crying, kind of crying to myself, whimpering to myself. Get to the house, and I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna go to her room. I'm just gonna go in her room. I'm gonna sit there, get this ass whooping over with. So I'm sitting there, kind of whimpering to myself, just waiting. Time passed by. Mom comes in the house. Now, everybody's already there, kind of enjoying themselves, having a good time. Nobody knows why I'm sad. They don't know that I'm dealing with the situation. She's like, where's Meaty? Now, for those that don't know, that's my nickname. My nickname is Meaty. Why? Because when I was a young boy, I ate quite a bit and I was a little chubby kid, things of that nature. So anywho, nonetheless, my nickname, like everybody from my hometown refers to me as Meaty. Nobody here knows me as that. They go by my last name. But everybody from my hometown refers me to me as to Meaty, Meaty. She's like, where's Meaty? They was like, he's in the room. Her and auntie come in the room. My auntie is the very first person when she comes into the room. She got the belt. Pow, pow. Why you get your mama late for you? You know this. Every damn syllable, every damn word, or every damn word is being said. Why you had your mama late to this damn blah, blah. I mean, wearing my ass to pieces. So as she wearing me out, I'm crying, right? I'm you know that in whooping, when you get whooped so good, yo, you anywho, my auntie, she whooped like maxing my ass out. And so as she whooping me, my mom is quite bigger than my auntie. She wasn't a big woman. Like I said, my mom's 5'10". She comes in, she didn't like hurt my auntie, but she grabs my auntie, like kind of maneuvers her out the room pretty, like in an assertive way, but not trying to hurt her. She's like, you trying to kill my son? That's what my mom says to my auntie. So I'm thinking like, okay, my auntie, she don't wear my ass out. My mom just came to protect me. Okay, maybe she's going to like say what she got to say, but I done had enough. My mama come in there, she remove auntie out the room. She come in there, she like, babe, you okay? Start talking to me and stuff like that. That's the trap right there. I'm like, yes, ma'am, I'm okay. Guess what her musty ass does? She get the same belt that my auntie just wore my ass out with. Start whooping me some more. Dad, I told you not to. Why did you bring the game back? Let me just wore me out. Okay. And that was the very last whooping I ever got. I think I was like 12. Last whooping I ever got in my life. But like I said, Street Fighter was responsible. Well, it was me. I should have never took the game out, right? I should have just left. I should have just left it there and said, hey, mom, this is where the game at. When you get it, take it back. And I don't even think the late fee was even expensive, but it was just more of the principle. You know what I mean? It wasn't like, oh, late fee, you got to pay for the cost of the entire cartridge. Like it costs $35. You got to pay $35. I don't think the late fee was that much. I think it was just more about principle. But yeah, man, that was the last whooping that I ever got, man. It was it was pretty crazy. But yeah, every so often I'll bring it up to her. I'll say, hey, mom, you remember the last time you whooped my butt? You know, and she'll be like, what you talking about? Obviously, it was back when I was 12, so it'd be hard for her to remember that many years ago, but I always bring it up to her and say, mom, you remember that? And I always bring it up and tell her exactly how it happened, and she laughs and stuff like that. But nonetheless, man, it was good times, really good times. Me and my mom, we still do have a great relationship. So I'm going to say a few things without over talking because I want to have other stuff to talk about as time go by. But number one, man, what I would say to anybody out there that's watching this live right now, if you are in a situation with a family member, it could be sibling, it could be your mom, it could be your dad, where y'all are kind of butting heads and y'all may not be in the relationship that y'all believe y'all should be in, I would definitely say try to go out your way to reconcile that situation. You know, I'll give you a quick story. I'm not going to mention if it's a female or a male, but I got a family member like that not me dealing with I'm talking about, I have two family members that got into it. They was in a situation. I don't even know what the situation was about. I was told, obviously, about from the family member. They got into it. Long story short, they didn't talk to each other for over a decade, which is insane to me. You're supposed to be close, and then y'all don't talk for a decade over a situation. Fast forward it, they ended up having to be in the same vicinity or in the same area because of like somebody died. I think it was like great grandmother or somebody very important to the family died. And so obviously they both came to the funeral. Okay. And what happened was everybody in the family ended up, I think it was divine intervention. I'm going to say it like that because what happened was everybody ended up leaving the room that they were in. Now, obviously, if they didn't want to be in there with each other, one or the other could have left the room as well. But long story short, they ended up in the room with each other. And as they were in the room, it was the awkward silence because obviously, if you got into it with somebody and you ain't talked to them in years, it's going to be weird being around them. They was around each other for a short period of time. And then during that time, something came up that led to them talking to each other. And then, of course, the conversation was brought back up from 10 years ago. Guess what happened? Take a guess. If you say they ended up talking it out, you're right. It took them maybe 5 or 10 minutes to talk about that thing that they were into it about years ago. And they're cool. Now they're close now and they're inseparable. But I'm thinking, like, imagine losing a decade of your life to someone that's supposed to be that close to you because of your ego. Think about how crazy that sounds. It's not like somebody that you don't care about, a troll on the internet. It's like this is your brother or your sister or your mom or your dad or a close cousin. Imagine losing a decade of your life because your ego wouldn't allow you to be the first person to be like, hey, why are we into it? What are we even into it about? And that's what happened in that situation. So I thought that was pretty crazy when, my family member, they told me about that situation. So I'm really, really, really bad. I mean, not really bad. I'm really on, like, it's imperative that I reconcile whatever situation that I may be going through at that time. If it's against someone that I truly have a big I guess a close relationship to, So for me, me and my brother definitely reconciled years ago about the childhood stuff that he wasn't too happy about. And, I had that conversation with him. I apologize on my part for how I was as a kid towards him and stuff like that. But it is important, y'all, if you got a family member that you love, that you're close to, it's important that forget Elf, like to the fuck with being, like, if you have to be the bigger person, that's cool. Right? Especially if that person matters. Be the bigger person, have that conversation, and then see if y'all can reconcile. Now, if y'all can't, that's one thing. Like, they've done something that's unforgivable. I can't tell you to forgive. But if it's something really small, or if it's not, if it's forgivable, forgive. That's about as plain as I can say it. With that being said, man, I just wanted to jump on here for a little bit. I'm gonna stay on a little bit longer, of course. I hope y'all enjoyed that story. And as I'm on here more, there's so many stories I can give y'all because my mom is the first mom that I know that used to allow co-ed sleepovers, meaning that I would have my boys over, my sister would have her, because she was a grade under me. So she would have her girls over, so girls and boys in the same house. Now, of course, we had feelings and we liked each other, but we wasn't like trying to get nobody pregnant. There wasn't no sexual activity going on. I mean, you know what I'm saying? I mean, But my point is, my mom, she would, not even a point, my mom allowed co-ed sleepovers. And so we used to have a good time, man. It used to be some damn good times. Co-ed sleepovers, anybody that knows me, that grew up with me will tell you, they'd be like, man, I wish my mama was your mom. I mean, yeah, man. They'd be like, I wish your mama was my mama. My mama allowed co-ed sleepovers. Hey, what's good, Akuma? What's good, baby? Co-ed sleepovers. Also, what else my mom used to? Parties. Nope, nobody had better parties than me. Nobody. So back in 99, 2000, when the Hot Boys first came out, that bagged that thing up. She's a big fine mama, want you bagged. Man, we used to play the seams off that damn CD. Bag that thing up, or you think you was something, huh? Something, huh? With Juvenile, that hun song, and or the bag it, man, all day. Mama used to like, cause this is a thing. I had my mom total trust because again, I made her life super, super easy when it came to like cleaning. My grades were always good. I had my own key to the apartment when I was like in eighth. I say eighth. I should say eighth grade. Lord, have 8, 9 years old. Started cooking when I was 9. But anywho, yeah, man, my mom trusted me. She trusted me with everything. If I said, "Can I do this?" She said, "Yeah." For the most part, my mom almost never. My mom rarely told me no to anything. And then also, y'all, I'm not going to talk about it today, but if you see here, let me see if it shows it. So you see that? That's a scar there. There's a scar here. So if you see this scar right here, there's a scar here. That's I'm gonna tell you that story too on why I got those scars. That'll be on like another live. And I remember, rest in peace to my great grandmother. She was born in 1919 and she passed away back in 2009. So dang, it's been what, 15 years now? Or it'd be 15 years coming up because she was born in April. But anywho, I ended up getting those scars based off a situation that happened. It happened at our house though. But yeah, man, I got like I didn't come from a family that had a lot of money, y'all. But man, I can't even complain about my childhood. But my mom was great to me, man. My mom, my dad. Again, me and my brother had our little things here and there, but I did love them. I love my sisters. Yeah, man. Your boy had a pretty damn good childhood. I mean, the only thing that I could complain about was I didn't have the most money, which that wasn't even a problem. But I'm just saying in general, if I were to complain about something. But anyways, y'all, at this point, I'm just kind of jibber jabbering. I think I've said what I wanted to say in terms of the story. That's what y'all came here for. I hope for those that stuck around long enough, y'all enjoyed the story. And of course, I'm gonna try to do lives more often. When I mean lives more often, I want to try to do lives at least once a day if I can. Okay. Let me see what time it is because I know the kiddos got to turn in their electronics by 11 because if not, they ass will be up all night and they got school in the morning. Absolutely not. It's 10:39 right now, Central Time. It said Street Fighter was the first game I was scared of. Why was you scared of it, bro? Why was you scared of a Street Fighter? But yeah, so as I get more comfortable with doing these lives, I do want to do story times. And then, of course, when it comes to just having a conversation about different topics, I want to do those too. I just started my X account today. I guess it was formerly known as Twitter, but I never had one. So I started that today, and I want to get it. And slowly but surely, I want to grow that Twitter account because I want to be able to reach out to y'all. And it says the intro when I was a kid, right? Yes. I see why you were scared. My cousin would play it in the attic with the lights. That's cold-blooded, man. Your cousin cold-blooded. Yes, I see why. And I'm like, why? But yes. One of my favorite games of all time was Killer Instinct. I don't know have you ever played Killer Instinct, Akuma? Killer Instinct was cold. I ain't even finna hold you, bro. I was cold. I ain't gonna say I was the best in the world because I played against some people. My boy Marco, I would say he was better than me in it. And then there was a couple of other guys that I ran into that was good, but I was good. I'm talking about as soon as you try to go in for a combo breaker. In every single character on there, I knew their combos, I knew their ultras, everything. Now I didn't know everybody finishing moves or whatever, but I knew everybody ultras, like ultra combos and stuff like that. When you played against me, you had to stick to the triple and the ultras, not the ultras, but I forgot what you call it, the 4-hit combos, like the 3 to 4 hit combos. If you try to go up to like 7 and 8s and 10 hits, it's not gonna happen. I'm a combo breaker that all day. But yeah. What's that game called? Killer Instinct. Man, I don't play games nowadays, but I wonder, have they ever tried to make another Killer Instinct like on these newer games like PS5 and stuff like that? But maybe they don't connect because I'm thinking that's more of a Nintendo type of product, right? Killer Instinct is. It says never played it, but isn't that like more the comeback cousin? How can I I'm gonna. I must kind of say no. I guess if you want to say like some of the combos that you can do on Mortal Kombat, I guess you could relate it in that way. But the combos on, I can't explain it, man. I really can't. But it was one of those games. It was one of those games where it was an acquired taste, and it had its own group of gamers that played that particular game. But it's really good. It was really good. It's one of my most favorite games of all time, for sure, for sure. Also, let me ask this question: have y'all ever played a game called Conker's Bad? It was called Conker's. Was it called Conker's? Matter of fact, I got my laptop right here, so I'm gonna type it up and see if I'm looking at the if I'm talking about the right game, because I don't want to butcher the name of the game, but I think it was called Conker's. Conker's. Yes, yes, yes. So I'm gonna show y'all this real quick. Give me a quick second. I'm gonna show you this. Have y'all played this right here? Yes, yes. That Conker's Bad Fur Day was a coat. That mug was. It was one of those games. If you didn't know someone who played that game, or if you never ran into it by accident, you would have never known it existed. That game was so fun. Oh my god. You remember you played against that big turd? He was like, I am the great giant poo, and I'm gonna throw my shit at you. The something, something, something. I don't know all the words, but I even liked it when you fought him, because as he was singing, it showed the subtitles, and if I'm not mistaken, it had toilet paper pointing to the words he was gonna say. I could be kind of exaggerating on that, but they did show the subtitle. I don't know if you remember that when he would sing the song, it would show the subtitle, and then he would be at a certain spot, and you had to try to throw toilet paper in his mouth. I can't remember, but he'd be like, "Law." He'd be in a certain spot, and then if you obviously if you try to hit him, he would like duck into the sewage, and then he'll pop up somewhere else. Yeah, that Conker's Bad Fur Day was cold. It sucked because I hated it because I'm talking about the storyline. Once he conquered everything he needed to conquer, he ended up conquering everything. He became the king and everything like that, but he lost his girl. So the person he loved the most, he couldn't even share his spoils with her. Like just basically accomplishing this adventure, right? But he lost the woman that he loved the most. That shit pissed me off, man, when I was young. Because at the beginning, it shows him sitting in the chair. He got this crown on his head, and you're like, what's going on? And then, of course, it's basically showing you where he's at, but then it gives you a flashback to how he got there. And you basically got to beat the video game just to get back to where it started off at the front of the game. It's a cold game. Says pretty sure that was a rare game. They were peak form at the time, especially with subtitles. Yes, damn, that's a deep story. Yes, man. Like people don't, they had and that's the thing I really liked about, if you want to say yesteryear, the storyline was so much more important. Like now they can have best of both worlds. That's the crazy thing, right? It's not like the people who created these great stories 20 years ago are old and dead. You know what I mean? I would say at the oldest, these people are in their 50s, maybe. So it's like you got a lot of great storytellers. I would even say more so now than then, because what happens is as time go by, it'd be like anything. Your dad, your grandpa, somebody, they collect all of this knowledge, right? And then you come from that thing that collected all this knowledge, and you're next in line, and then they give you all the wisdom that they had. It took all their life to get. So you're supposed to be able to get to the next level. You're supposed to be able to take whatever that's there now to the next level. So I never understand when I see storylines nowadays. I'm like, the stories should be way better now than it was 20 years ago. Definitely 30 years ago, because you're supposed to be able to enhance that thing that's like, okay, everything that the people yesterday had, you have. And then there's new things you're supposed to be able to create on that thing that you already have. So I never understand when I see these storylines nowadays. They want to go for graphics and visuals, and all that stuff is great. It's like, go for that. Go for the visuals and the graphics too. sound, all of that, but add like make the story even better because you already have the tools that's needed to be a better storyteller now than even yesteryear, if you want to say. It says, right, we got the best graphics, but the stories of games don't suck me in like they used to. Yeah, man, the stories used to be great, man. I saw, so I don't know if you remember Akuma. I don't know if you remember, it was a story called not a story, but it was a movie. It's called shit. Let me type it up because I don't want to butcher the name. It was called was it Clash of the, I think it was Clash of the Titans. Yeah, Clash of the Titans. If you watch the Clash of the Titans that they had, maybe it was 5 or 10 years ago, obviously the visuals on that is better than the old Clash of the Titans. But if you go watch the old Clash of the Titans, to me, I could be wrong on this, but to me, the storyline on Clash of the Titans, the old one, is better than the one that came out maybe 10. Let me see what year Clash of the Titans came out. It came out, so 2010, so that would have been 14 years ago. And then let's see when the original one or the old. So it was one that came out in 1981. I went and watched the one in 1981, Clash of the Titans, and I thought that the storyline for the Clash of the Titans was better. And I'm thinking, like, why? You can like this, like to me, I say this all the time. I brag on this era all the time. I'm not like one of those old guys that be hating on young folks and stuff like that. This is like one of the best eras to be in. It's like, number one, you can make it's so many different ways to make money now, right? You can join the gig economy. Even the gig economy, it doesn't give out as good as of a benefits as if you're working through like a top of the line job, but nonetheless, they give out pretty decent benefits. The money's awesome. You can work as many hours as you want and make that money that you actually want to, what you want to make. That's just gig. We're not even talking about YouTube, being able to make money off YouTube. We're not talking about Facebook. We're not talking about Instagram. I'm just talking about gig. You can make more money doing gig than you could at an actual job and or career nowadays. I ran into this woman the other day. I kid you not. This woman, she had a limp in her walk. She was in her 40s. She was in her 40s, right? It says, let me read you, let me show some respect. It says, I'm playing original FF7 on my channel because the story is so good, man. You forget about the graphics. Wow. What's FF7, bro? Is that Final Fantasy? And then it says companies seem more invested in marketing department than creative department. This is the thing. You can have both. You can have both. You're making so much money, you can go pay for the most creative guys on the planet to make sure that the creative part is going to be creative. And you can also pay for the money. You can pay the money because, yes, to me, marketing, it was ultimately going to be the most, like, your product has to be good. Let's get that out the way. But in general, you do, like my cousin always told me this. It doesn't matter how good your product is. If nobody sees it, nobody knows about it, it doesn't matter. So I agree, marketing is vital. People got to know your product, right? But if you're making enough money where you can market your stuff across the United States and even better, the world, why don't you have enough money to pay for some of the best team around you from a creative standpoint? That makes no sense to me, you know? So like, but going back to what I was saying initially, we are in the best era that you can be in at this moment. You can make money from anything nowadays. If you want to work a regular job, you can work a regular job. If you want to go gig, you can go gig. Again, gig honestly will get you more money than your actual job. Now, of course, you got to know how to handle taxes. You got to know how to handle your, write-offs and all that. And you're doing all that right. Like, don't put yourself in a bind if you don't know what you're doing. But in general, you can make so much money. But going back to the lady I was explaining about, so this lady had a limp, and you can tell she didn't move around that well. She was probably in her 40s or even 50s. I talked to this woman. She was like, she works for Grubhub. She was like, last year I made between $60,000 and $70,000 just doing Grubhub. Maybe she was doing other stuff, but she said just from that And this was somebody who had a limp in their walk, and you can tell she didn't get around that well. You looked at her body; she wasn't like built up very well. And no disrespect towards her. The point I'm making here, because I don't be disrespecting nobody, unless you get disrespectful, and then we can, reflect that energy a little bit, depending. But going back to what I was saying, the point of me bringing that up is this is a woman who couldn't move around that well, and she's working a job where it depends on you to actually move around and deliver people their stuff. And she was like, I made between 60 and 70K last year when I got when I did my taxes. So I'm like, if she can make it, imagine you being a young man or even a man that just got a spring in their step, or a young woman. You know what I'm saying? You're going to easily cover between 70 and closer to 100K. And again, that's just that. We're not talking about you having the ability to go work other gigs. You got Amazon Flex, you got DoorDash. We said Grubhub. You got Instacart. It's so much out there. And then there's a lot of stuff now where these companies, you can go to these companies. I know what they do here. I know here where I'm at. You can go to the Amazon building, which is probably about 20 minutes from where I stay. I can get on 63 not right now, but on any given day, you can go out there to the building. And if you don't want to work full time, they got little things that you can do. I think it's dealing with their packaging, sorting packages and stuff like that. But you can do that from like 5 to 9, 5 to 10, paying you probably 20, 25 an hour or something like that. I know for a fact it's closer to 20 because it's Amazon, right? And then if you want to do Amazon Flex, you sign in on that. Guess what? You can get paid every day, meaning that you can set your stuff up where they can pay you every day. So if you make $150 that day or $200, you can have it set up where they'll deposit that to your check after your shift every day. Same thing with DoorDash. As long, like once you make over $500 on DoorDash, then you got to wait until like the week is out, which a week is not even bad, right? But my point is so much money to be made in this era now. And I love that. That's how you keep competition going. Because when you only give one company the ability to pay everybody, that can be ugly. They don't have to pay you as much. They know you're relying on them. They making you do stuff you don't want to do. But whenever you got all these different gig economies that's trying to, make money from their businesses, and they're offering you certain incentives and stuff like that, these other businesses have to come along for the ride and make sure that they're giving you a competitive, at least giving you the ability to, like, they have to be competitive in a way where they're like, okay, they're paying just as good too. There are some incentives there when it comes to benefits too, blah, 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 blah. So I think this era is fantastic. Like, how long is it going to last? I don't know. But as I tell my kids all the time, and let me read your comment, bro. It says, yes, sir, Final Fantasy VII, and I respect her hustle 1,000. Yes, that's what I said. And when she told me how much she made and I saw the kind of the condition that she was in, I said, there's no excuse for nobody not making money. None. There's no excuse at all. Now, it does suck that we're in an era where the interest rates are a bit higher than what they should be, and you are paying more for a car than what you should have to. Like, nobody should have to pay like my car payments right now, because I had a car that was paid off forever, and then it got totaled, and I ended up getting another car. And my car, as I speak, is over $500 a month. And I don't even got it. Like, I got my car brand new. It's not an expensive car by any means, but I still pay well over $500 a month. You know what I mean? And that's just for the car. We're not even talking about the insurance. The insurance is odd too. It's like, damn, we just in that type of era. It's like more money can be made, but it seemed like a lot more is needing to be spent as well. So I kind of hate that. It's like, But when it comes to finances, I can talk about finances all day, because I've learned so much from other guys that know way more than me. And that's all I do. I just soak in the game. That's what I do. If we're not running the child care, because that's what I typically do. If we're not doing child care or doing anything else that makes money, I am typically listening to something that's going to help me from a financial standpoint. And it's not just you knowing the numbers. Knowing the numbers when it comes to financing, when it comes to the finances portion, is important, but we tend to make bad decisions based off our emotions. And a lot of that you can date back to childhood. Now, I'm a non-excuse type of person. I'm not using that as an excuse, but if you have issues with how you, like, let's say you have issues with how you handle money, I could literally ask you all the questions that need to be asked, dating from your childhood all the way to now. And I could be like, that makes sense why you do the things you do. And I learned that from, is it Shamet? If you've ever heard of this guy, go to, let me see his YouTube name, because I'm subscribed to his channel. This guy's amazing. It says, drop the game we need for real. I never had someone break shit down. Yeah, man. I'll do some videos like that too, where we just have a conversation and I talk about stuff, because this is stuff that I'm learning too. You understand? Like, I wish I knew this stuff when I was young, but this is stuff that I'm learning at this point in my life as well. But I'm gonna show you this YouTube channel real quick. This is a guy that I'm subscribed to. And, you know, some people got their opinion on him. Some people don't like him, but I like him. I think the guy is freaking fantastic when it comes to his advice, when it comes to the advice that he gives financially. So I follow Humphrey Yang. He's amazing. So this is a guy that I follow. I don't hear many complaints about him, but this is a guy that I follow. He's pretty good. Humphrey Yang, he's pretty good on YouTube. So him. This is another guy that I follow. He's like freaking fantastic. Hold on. Because I follow a lot of smaller channels too. There's a lot of game out there with the smaller channels. But since it's not popular, people won't subscribe or go to those channels. Most people are more into channels that are super big because they like to kind of follow they just like to follow what everybody else does. Let me see, can I find this guy? Where is he? Y'all can't wait. I know I'm subbed to him. Hold on. Let me see. Can I find him? I know for a fact I'm subbed to him, though. Is it just he hasn't posted in a while? Like, I follow Roberto Blake. If y'all don't know who Roberto Blake is, he's an awesome YouTuber as well. He gives a lot of game. He talks about YouTube itself, though. He talks about YouTube and the new rules that you could do on YouTube, like the new rules that he updates you about everything on YouTube. And then you can actually, which I'm thinking about doing as time go by, you can actually pay him and he can look at your channel and kind of like guide you to a point on how to make your channel better. But this guy here, I don't know if y'all follow him or not. Like, some people like him, some people don't. I think he's really good when it comes to the finances part, though. If y'all don't know who he is, but that's how I would teach you to be rich. I think his name is Ramit, but he's good. And the thing I like about him is he'll actually break down the numbers. Like, he'll give you specifics. You know, sometimes you hear people talk about finances and they're just very vague and you're like, well, that sounds good, but that really doesn't help me. He'll actually break down the numbers, and he does a lot of lives. Like, what he would do is he would do a live, but then he'll post it on his channel. And so most of his videos, I'll be watching a lot of them. They be like hour long. Matter of fact, let me show you what I'm talking about. So this one right here, I'll just give you an idea. So if you see this right here, so it says, right here says, I maxed out my credit cards on our $45,000 wedding. And so basically he brings real people on his channel and they have conversations. A lot of these people, man, y'all have no idea. There'll be people out there, they make over $500,000 a year. I mean, easy money for them. They make over $500,000 a year and they still be putting themselves in debt. They still be making bad decisions with money, because a lot of times it's not just simply about the numbers. It's about the emotional part of life too. So they make a lot of bad decisions. It could be because you want people you want to portray that, and it's funny because most people don't even care about you, right? Most people don't care about you like that. But what will happen is people will say, well, I want to portray that I am this type of person, and they want to portray that they really have it like that. And so, and they put it, they put all of this in their own head, and they make a bunch of bad decisions. And they end up, despite of making all this money, they still make poor decisions. They end up putting themselves in a lot of debt, in particularly with the credit cards. They be usually the credit cards. But there was a family over $500,000 a year paying $50,000+ a year for private school, which is insane. Paying both of them have cars that's well over $100,000. To me, there is no sense of having cars that's $200,000. Both of y'all have cars that's well over 100,000 or 200, and y'all making $500,000 a year is nothing to sneeze at. But I'm not gonna have a car that's well over 100,000 while my wife or whoever I'm with has a car for. It just makes no feasible sense. It's just not good. And so, anywho, he brings these people on his show. And he asked all the right questions. I mean, he peeled back that onion, man, layers and layers. And he peels back until he can really find a reason why he sees why y'all are making those bad decisions. And then, of course, he'll bring up all the numbers on y'all, and then he'll show you the things that you can do to make your financial situation better. And he's very specific on the numbers when it comes to the fixed costs and stuff like that. But the guys, he's amazing. He's amazing. So definitely, I would say those are the channels. Like, yes, I love being entertained, right? Because I did a personality test maybe a month or two ago. It says, so 500K, you can save up the next 5 years and have $1 million. You could. That's the thing. It sounds like what you're saying. It does seem like, dang, you could do that and have X amount of dollars. It sounds that easy, but it's not that easy because it's not. It's that easy, but it's not. It's just because it's not about I'm making this much money anymore. It's about from the emotional standpoint on like hey, what let's say you're making that money with your wife. Is she gonna be patient enough for y'all? Like if you came up with a game plan and said, "Hey, babe, this is how we're gonna go about doing things. We can have X amount of dollars put back in this amount of time. We can still enjoy some of it, but if we do blah blah blah, like breaking down each number, because like I'll say, for instance, with me, I got a thing right now in my closet. Right now, this is my closet right here. I have a paper. I have every little thing written down on that paper. I know exactly where the money's going. I know exactly how much my mortgage is for the entire year. I know exactly how much my card note is. Like I put all of those numbers down, and that's for a reason because I'm like, okay, based off all of these numbers. Now you got to guess a little bit when it comes to food and gas and stuff like that. You got to kind of guesstimate, but the numbers that you know that are fixed. It's like, okay, I got this. This is how much I'm spending. This is how much I'm gonna be spending in a year. So you should know automatically. This is how much money I gotta make bare minimum for the year to take care of these expenses here. Okay, and then so once you do that, it's like, okay, is there gonna be vacation involved? How much money do you plan on putting back? Are you going to invest in a Roth IRA? Are you going to invest in SP 500? Like you got to start thinking like, what are these like yes, it's important that I take care of all of these expenses, but what about the money that you're going to have left over? Like let's say you get an extra 25, 30,000 left over for that year. What are you going to do with the rest of that money? That's what matters because that's what happens. People be like, I got all this extra money. And what people tend to do when they got extra money, spend it, right? They don't really save it or invest it. They spend it. And so you got to figure out why up here, what's causing you to do those things. And that's what he does. He's damn near a therapist when he does it so smooth. He does it in real time. The guy, go watch his channel. You'll be impressed. He's I think he's I'm impressed by him. But I think he does a great job because he really tackles the psychology of why people approach money the way they approach it. Because he does believe in you being able to enjoy your money while you're making it. but he'll explain. He gives you like all the details on what he means by that. He doesn't simply think that you should just go and spend your money, but he'll say, okay, yes, I do believe you should take some of that money and enjoy it, but this is how much of a percentage you should be spending. This is why, blah, 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 blah. Like he goes into like great detail about that. Like he's one of the first people that really made me crave to make more money, but like I really love like it's gonna sound bad. Like I love money. Like money doesn't control me in a way where I'm gonna do like go crazy and do a bunch of immoral things and things of that nature. But it makes me love it in a way where it's like, oh, okay, because I come from a family that has no money. That's good information, man. Thank you. Absolutely. But yeah, so I have my whole year written down, the entire year. I know exactly how much money I need to make for the year. And that's why I was saying we're in a good era, because you can literally gig and say, oh, I'm going to make this much money doing this, this, and this. Oh, I'm going to make 40,000 doing DoorDash, and I'm going to make another 15 doing Amazon Flex. And that's just gig. Now, if you have a great career, by any means, you're in a great spot, because if you're already making $50 to $100 an hour, depending on what you're doing, most people ain't going to make that type of money. But let's say if you are doing that, that's great. Maybe you want to build a channel on YouTube, right? And talk about the things that you are capable of talking about while adding a splash of your personality to it. And down the road, maybe that builds up. That's money you could be making. You understand? But it's so much. It's just so many different avenues now on the way you can make money. But like I told myself, one of the bigger things that I would be doing when it comes to this would be me having the conversations when it comes to like story times, my life, because I got so much stuff that I can talk about, man. I didn't get in a lot of trouble, but I definitely got a lot of stories. I could talk about a lot. I could talk about a lot of different stuff. But the finances part, I can talk about, because I'm still learning as well. But there's a lot of stuff that I can talk about that I've learned, that I've applied to my life. A book that I would recommend. I've done Rich Dad Poor Dad. It's a decent book, not bad. I've done Richest Man in Babylon. Richest Man in Babylon. Once I started learning how money work, it helps out from a psychology standpoint, in my opinion, because all they're doing is they kind of tell you the same stories. It's different settings, same stories, but it ends up being about the same thing. So for instance, there was a guy, I think his name was, what was his name? Can't think of his name right off the top of my head, but basically he didn't have a lot of money. Essentially, he didn't have a lot of money. And basically what ends up happening is he's what you call a tablet, like he would get tablets and write on the tablets. And so what happened was he ended up running into this guy named Algamish, who at the time was that dude when it came to money. And he was supposed to perform a certain job for Algamish. Arcad, that's his name, Arcad. So Arcad was supposed to perform a certain job for Algamish at the time, and he didn't do what he was supposed to. Well, since Arcad was he a slave at the time? I'm thinking he was, but he had an owner. His owner was protective of him. He didn't do what he was supposed to do for Algamish, right? But Algamish didn't put his hands on him because Algamish didn't put his hand on Arcad for not doing his job because Arcad's master wouldn't allow it. Fast forwarded, he said, look, I'm sorry I didn't get the job done on time, but if I start now, I can get done by the morning. If I do that, could you teach me how to make money? Algamish was like, wow. Nobody's ever asked that question. They always just want money. They don't want to know how to make money. So it piqued his interest. He said, okay, if you do what you're supposed to do, Arcad, I'll teach you how to make money. And then, of course, Arcad stays up all night. Now, they don't have electricity or nothing like we have. This is the old time. That's why it's called Richest Man in Babylon. And so I guess they would have candles or whatever. I don't know how they had their own light back in the day. But nonetheless, he spent the entire night doing what he was supposed to do for Algamish, and he succeeded at that. And so whenever he succeeded at that, that's when Algamish kind of told him some of the things that he needed to do. He was like, look, when you are making money, he was like, you need to take at least 10% of what you make. And I promise you, you may not even think you don't have the money to do it, but I promise you, you're not going to miss that 10%. And so not Algamish, but Arcad did what he said, because this is the thing. He thought that Algamish was just going to tell him this grand, detailed thing on how to make money. But the first thing he told him, he was like, look, just take 10% of what you make, put it back. He was like, I did all that work and that's all you telling me? You got to remember, when you're giving people information, you can't just flat out tell them everything. You got to kind of spoon feed them, right? So he does what Algamish tells him to do. And what was the point of saving his 10%? He said, okay, the 10% is for two reasons. You're creating what you call discipline, right? In terms of putting money back. But more importantly, once you put that money back, and if you're able to put back enough, you can take that money and start investing and make that money make more money. You see what I mean? But he was spoon feeding him on the front end, because if he tells him everything, he's not going to get that. So he's like, look, right now, let's just put back some money first. Let's see if you're capable of putting back money. And he did. He did for a year. Now, when he puts back the money, he talks. No. What Arcad didn't ask for further information. And I ain't gonna go into this whole story. I just want to give you an idea that I read the story and I've listened to it both. I've done both. So he puts the money back for a year. But what happens is he had a year savings, and he gives it to someone who wasn't an expert at that thing. So basically, Arcad saves this year worth of money. He takes advice from a bricklayer about jewels, right? Which makes no sense. And so when he does that, he gives the money to Arcad, gives his year worth of profit that he had been saving to this guy to invest in these jewels. Come to find out, the jewels are made out of glass. Right? Because they were supposed to buy the jewels. It was supposed to be like they was going to make a lot of money and they was going to split the profit. But they made nothing because it was fake. He goes back, Arcad, and tell Algamish what happened. And Arcad laughs. He's like, ha ha ha. Now, of course, you don't see him laugh, but you can just tell it's funny to him. Why? Because he probably made the same mistake when he was younger, when he didn't have the information. And then that's when he tells him, he's like, whenever you are getting advice from someone, you get advice from a person that knows exactly what they're talking about. A bricklayer can't give you advice on jewels. You would go to, I think he kind of made it, he brought up some analogies, but if you want to know about the stars, you wouldn't go to a bricklayer, you would go to an astrologist. So whoever is the person that's the expert in that thing. And so that was the next set of advice he was getting. He was like, why would you save up all your money? And I'm paraphrasing this part. Why would you save all your money to only give it to someone you're going to give someone your money to invest your money. This person that you're giving your money to is not an expert in that thing that you are like. So I'm talking to a person and I'm giving them my year's worth of saving. They're not an expert in the thing that they can be investing in, but I'm trusting them with my money. That's what Arcad did, and he lost a year worth of money. But guess what happens? He goes and saves another year. Do you think that next year got easier? Yes. That's why it was so good that Algamish made sure that he was disciplined, because when he lost that years, because imagine if he wasn't disciplined and he struggled to save it and he lose it all. What do you think he's going to do? He's going to quit, right? He's going to quit. He's not going to want to do it again. But that second year, it was easier, and he saved even more money because he had already implemented the discipline here from doing it the first year. And so when he saves it again, he actually invests his money, or he gives it to or he asks the person that knows what they're talking about when it comes to investing his money. He gives it to them, and he actually he turns a profit this time. Algamish comes back. He's like, what you learn? He said, I know that when I invest in someone, it needs to be someone who knows the hell they're talking about in that subject or area. You see what I mean? But my point is, it's a great, great, great book. And I think when it comes to that book, one thing that I took out of it was like what I'm explaining right now. Another thing is paying your debtors. Like pay your debtors. Like we don't take that seriously, especially let's say like in our community, you think you can just borrow money and then you don't want to pay it back, and that's not okay. And so he talks about the importance of paying off your debtors and stuff like that. And so that's why I'm big on like, like pay off your credit card debt. Yep, just bring the electronics and put them right there. Hey, make sure sister do it to her. You can take it from her and just bring it and put it right there. Okay. All right. I love you. And so, as I was saying, what the hell was I talking about? The boy just walked in on me. But yeah, so we tend not to take that seriously like we supposed to. So you want to pay off your debtors, pay your credit card debt down. That's probably the number one thing, just because the interest rate is super high. Fine print is important. Like if it says that if you ever see anything that's giving you a 0% interest on the front end, it's not going to be fixed. They couldn't even make money that way. Nobody's going to give you anything that's 0%. So if it's 0%, maybe they're like, look, you got to pay that off in 6 months, or it's going to skyrocket to 34% or 27%. So I always say, read the fine print. And I get it. Sometimes when you're desperate and you want money right away, or you believe you need money right away, you're not trying to read shit. You're just trying to sign and get the money. But you have to do better at just taking a deep breath, relax, read that shit, read the fine print, because you definitely don't want to put yourself in a bad situation money-wise, because it's great not being in debt, but once you get in it, it's really hard to get back out, because life don't stop. The world doesn't stop and allow you to pay that debt off. The world's still going forward. You still got bills that's coming this way. You still got that mortgage or rent. You still got your car note if you have a car note. You still got car insurance. You still got electric bill. You got gas bill if you got gas. You got you paying through the city, right? When it comes to your trash and water. And then you still got to live your life. You still got these little miscellaneous things. You're probably going to go out to eat at least once that week, probably more, but I'm just saying once. But imagine if you spend $5 a day. Who's spending $5? Let's be honest. Who is spending $5 a day to eat? Nobody, right? You're going to spend more than $5. But let's just say $5. That's $35 a week. That's $70 every 2 weeks. That's $140 a month. And that's just for you. So imagine if you got a family and y'all are eating several times a day. So it's so much that's going on. You got to take care of all of these things. And then the debt is still saying, you owe us our money too. So you got to be careful about those things and try to minimize that shit. And again, all of this stuff that I'm talking about is the stuff that I've been learning as well, But there's not a lot of things that I need or even care about like that. I mean, there are things that I care about. Let's not get it twisted. But I am disciplined enough to be like, and I don't recommend everybody to be like me, because it's just it may not be the healthiest way. That's why I like when I showed you, oh boy, I can teach you how to become rich. He actually gives you the ultimate way on making your money, still enjoying your life, and paying off your debt. And so he does a great job with all of that, man. All of that. Now, as time go by, I will write down a lot of my stuff or type it out so that I can be a little bit more structured with my conversations. But I like having conversations like this too, where I can just talk and just chill. You know what I mean? Just chill and shoot the shit. Just shoot the shit. But I am going to be doing more of these lives. And I know I kind of went on a tangent, like less than 20 minutes of this video was about the actual topic of the video, right? Like me getting the spanking. And the rest of it's just being me kind of rambling on at this point, which is fine, But yeah, so I'm definitely, I definitely want to do lives, try to hit y'all with these lives every day if I can, man. Like I do want to do the shorts, but there's a couple of people that I got in mind that I want to reach out to. Roberto Blake is one. Poor Man Podcast is two. Because he does, I think Poor Man Podcast, he has consultations where you can pay him and he can like look at your channel and help you Like have an idea like, hey, bro, this is how you should approach things to help your channel grow and stuff like that. And I don't mind paying. Like I'm always going to pay for good information. I know Roberto Blake, his stuff I think it's not too bad at all. It's like $250. I think it's between $250 and $300 for 30 minutes. So like I'll pay that. No problem. I'm always going to pay for great information. Same thing with Poor Man Podcast. I think his is about close to $300 per 30 minutes. I'm always going to pay for great information all day long, especially something that will help me out down the road. I'll pay for that all day long. Nothing's more valuable than information. Information is more valuable than gold, silver, diamonds, shoes, house, car, all that shit. Nothing on this planet is more important than information. Especially if you're going to soak it in, process it, and apply it. That's the most important thing. Just because you have it, that is the most important, having it, but now you gotta digest it, process it, know how to utilize it, and then apply it. And once you start applying it, it'll make your life, like you're never gonna pay more, you're never gonna be able to pay enough for good information if you're utilizing it correctly. Okay. Yep. Thank you, baby boy. Love you.
Are you on?
Yes, sir. Bring me another water. Enter the label. It says, funny thing, Portman Podcast is real. He said on live, you remember, Kuma, YouTube is a real community besides the trolls. Yeah, people are going to troll. I mean, the bigger you get, that's just a part of it. That's part of the course. I don't care about trolls. Like for those that, I don't know if you was over here, Kuma, whenever I had my NBA channel, but obviously I got played with that, and so that's why I deleted all the videos and stuff. But if you don't remember, I was actually making 30,000+ views of video, and my channel got hit twice with many copyright strikes and stuff, and I had to fight for it. And when it happened twice with the NBA stuff, I was done with it. Like this channel here should have been at like hundreds of thousands or even closer to the high hundreds like years ago. I had a contract through Broadband TV. Money was good. This was the same channel. I just ended up changing it from AMAX to AMAX Reacts because all that stuff that happened. And I'm thinking like I supposedly had rights to the stuff that I was using. And it was just a weird situation, man. But I think I have an ideal on what my calling is in terms of the conversations that need to be had. Like I don't want people to, yeah, it was going crazy. And then that situation, it happened twice. That's the thing. It happened twice. 30,000+ views of video, and then my channel got hit. And this is the thing that sucks. A person at that time could lie and hit your channel with copyright strikes. And if you did what you call a counter notification, so if I hit, let's say for the sake of everything, if your channel gets hit with a copyright strike, you only get 7 days to respond. And if you do not respond in those 7 days and you have more than 3 copyright strikes, your channel gets deleted. End of story. But if you do a counter notification, meaning that you're like, I didn't do anything wrong, and no, I'm not gonna. Yes, I'm gonna say something against it because I'm not gonna have my channel deleted. They allow the people that hit you with the strike 30 days to respond. So think about how unfair that is. I don't know how it is now. I would hope that YouTube made the adjustment, but I get 7 days to respond, so I can't even make a video until I respond, but then they get 30. So I got 7 to respond and my channel's deleted. They get 30 to respond. So my channel's on ice for 30 days. Then what happened was whenever they finally found out that the people that hit me with the strikes were full of shit because they never pursued further, I started making videos again and I wasn't even hitting 100 views. And then I remember I made a Kyrie video and I always did my own little thing with it when it came to commentary and stuff. But for whatever reason, YouTube wasn't going, or not YouTube, but whoever was hitting me with these strikes wasn't going. And I remember the Kyrie Irving video went crazy. and it like revolved my channel back, and I ended up having like well over a couple of million views on that video. And then I started doing my thing again, and then that shit happened again. I was like, nah, I'm good. I'm done. I'm making y'all waiting until I make all these hundreds of videos, and then y'all just start hitting my channel. This is weird as shit. And so y'all was done. And I was already mad because I was with Broadband TV and y'all supposed to be protecting me. And so I would never sign with anybody again. I just think it's crazy. If you're already doing well, why would you let somebody sign with you? Like, why am I going to sign with someone where they can take my money? I'm already doing what I'm supposed to do. They can't do more for me. And I'm essentially paying them for nothing. And that's what was happening on my channel. I was paying these guys for nothing. They wasn't adding any value to the channel. They wasn't giving me any information. I did that myself. But me thinking like, man, I'll be cool if I sign to a big label because Chris Smooth, who's a big YouTuber, was signed to them. So I'm thinking like, I'm going to be cool. And I messed myself up with that. That's my fault. That's, a lesson learned. Someone stole my beat from YouTube I made when I was 17. Yeah, that's not cool, man. Yeah, that's another thing I would say too. If you're going to make something, make sure by law you have it set up where people can't take your stuff. Because I'm in the middle of this book that's called the 48. I think it's called this dang book called. Give me a second. No, I'll go check it out. I think it's called matter of fact, let me type it up. I think it's called the 48 Laws of Power. The only thing about 48 Laws of Power is just more about, it's almost like you got to be fake. It's all politics to me. You got to pretend you're something that you're not. That's what I get from the book when I look at it. I'm not saying it's not a good book, and it's actually something that you got to utilize in today's world, which is sad. Like you got to lie and be fake, like all these celebrities and all these people. Hold on, I think it's called 48. Yeah, it's called 48 Laws of Power. I'm in the middle of that book right now. It does a good job. Like it tells you these different laws, and then it like goes into these stories about these people from back in the day. But a lot of it is just smoke and mirrors. You got to pretend you're something that you're not. You got to make up lies. You got to deceive people. That's all. That's what I get from it. It's all deception, and it sucks. It's like, why do me personally? I don't like to lie. I hate it. And so for me to actually, I gotta pretend to be something that I'm not. That sucks. But I'm talking about if I really wanted to move up somewhere, I gotta pretend that I'm something that I'm not. That sucks to me. You know what I mean? And I get it. The game is the game. But it's like as human beings, we're like, I hate being lied to. I hate this. I hate that. But it's simultaneously, the people that you gravitate to the most be the biggest liars, and they're lying, but you still will gravitate to them. It's crazy to me. That's just the world we in. I'm not complaining. I'm saying it sucks, But that's what I get from the 48 Laws of Power. Like you basically, you're not selling who you really are. You're selling the perception of who you are, because that's what their perception is reality. And so, and then ultimately, if people find out you're lying, now you're a piece of shit for lying, which makes no sense, right? Because it's like when I was being myself, I was mad about that, or I wasn't moving nowhere for being myself. And then when I started lying about it, I was cool with that. And then when y'all found out I was lying, now y'all mad about it. And it's like y'all kind of knew that in the first place. But I think that's like that with a lot of people. I honestly think that there's a lot of people out there right now. If people knew who they were, like as a person, not a good person, people would get mad. But those people, I'm not going to name people, but like certain celebrities could lie, get caught in a lie, and people would still forgive them and move on and let them kind of do what they want. It's just what it is. Like a lot of people like to be deceived, and I hate that, but it's what it is. It says, yes, psychopathic tendencies in that book, maybe. Yeah, that's the way I take it. Again, my perception, you may look at it and look at it differently. The stuff that they talk about in there is not even bad. I think it's actually something that can be utilized, but it's bad. To me, I don't like it because it's like, damn, you do got to treat people like you can't be 100% honest with no woman. You just can't. Like a woman may claim, I want a man to be honest with me about everything. No, she don't. More times than not, she would rather be left in the dark based on the stuff that I know and the things. And I hate that. It's like, I want to be honest and tell you This is what's going on. This is why, blah, blah, blah. Let's work on it. Let's move on. But you can't. You got to lie. And it's like, why do I have to lie? But yeah, if you go look at the 48 laws of power, there are things like when it says not to outshine your master. Like I remember there was a story that they talked about in there where you had the king and queen. I think they went to an opera or something. They went to some big event. And basically this woman ends up coming in. So basically, I guess at this event, the king and queen are supposed to be kind of the last people to come in, and then everybody acknowledges them, and then everybody kind of have their seat in, everybody keeps it, you keep moving forward. But the grand gesture is supposed to be them last, right? Because they're the king and queen. Well, this woman ends up coming in, and I don't think this was attached to never outshine your master, but I'm just giving a story. I don't remember which law this was. This woman comes in, and she comes in after the king and queen, and she's wearing this very, if you want to say, outlandish outfit to get everybody attention, and everybody turns at her and stuff like that. And she's getting the attention at the moment, but shortly after that, the queen did something or made a certain gesture where everybody not only took their attention away from the woman who came in after them, but after that situation happened within I guess it was an opera. After that situation happened, nobody would deal with her again in business or nothing. So she like ruined her life because of that one moment. And she did it to herself. There was another story where the guy thought like he was making all this money from the king, and he set up this party for the king or whatever like that. And he could have just had a regular party, and it could have been grand, but it could have been regular, and the king would have loved it and kept it moving. But it was so grand that it actually made the king jealous, and it backfired. So he thinking like, oh, this thing here is going to make the king feel great, and da, 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 da. And it actually made the king so jealous. I think the king had him banished to like this jail forever, this prison or something, because of that situation, right? Because he was doing too much that actually made the king feel threatened. It doesn't matter if the king have a fragile ego. Has a fragile ego. You better not let that king know he has a fragile ego. Shit. Go ahead. You better lie. But he did. But he was doing too much for the king, and it made the king feel threatened, and the king actually had him banished, so it backfired. And so a lot of times dudes show their hand too much, and that can hurt you, especially if you're doing it towards somebody that's above you. Hey, look, if I'm below you, you're always going to know that I'm below you. It doesn't matter if I know more than you. I don't know as much as you, sir. You see what I mean? And that was something, me just having the opportunity to look at the 48 laws of power. I would agree with that. That's why I don't know if Shannon Sharpe has ever, I'm not going to talk about it that much because I'm gonna do a whole separate video about it, but I'm just gonna give you a little snippet. I'm gonna get off here, y'all, because it's 1:18 and my phone is at 10% and it's 11:35 and I got to get up by 8. I said 8. I have to get damn. I can't remember the last time I ever got up that late. Get up by 5:30 because I got my leg day tomorrow. Anyways, I don't know if Shannon Sharpe has ever read 48 Laws of Power, but he definitely exercised never outshine your master with Skip. If you ever paid attention to him and Skip, he always had better. Like, especially so they started in 2016. By 2018, Shannon was already better than him. He had Shannon was already a better entertainer. You can tell Shannon was already well prepared. Shannon was grateful that Skip gave him the opportunity and things of that nature. But if you ever listen to their conversations on First Take, Lord have mercy, Undisputed, a lot of times he would dial back on some, yes, he would play the argumentative part on some things. He did that on purpose just to give the show the thing that Skip thought it needed. He did that for Skip. He didn't do that for himself. But if you really pay attention to Shannon he was already outshining Skip. He had to dial himself back to make it seem like that wasn't the case. Skip was seeing that too, and that's why Skip started getting cute and started disrespecting them. You understand? But if you really pay attention, a lot of shows Shannon dialed back quite a bit. He always tried to make it where Skip was that guy. Skip wasn't that guy. But he didn't want to outshine his master. Not saying that Shannon is calling Skip his master. But the thing, what I'm saying, never outshine your master, was applied to that show. If you really pay attention, Shannon knows how to play his position. Shannon is a low-key genius if you pay attention to the way he is with stuff. If he knows he's better than you, you're going to see it. If he knows, like, even if he knows he's better than you, but you still have that power over him based off, like, that situation with Undisputed, he going to let you feel like you're superior. You remember before he got kicked off, what happened? When he said he's better at 45, when this was the statement that Skip said to Shannon, he's still playing at a higher level at 45 than you did when you was 35. And Skip got all upset because Shannon was giving fair critique on Tom Brady and stuff like that. But when it got personal, because that's what Skip does, Skip is the type of person that likes to get personal when he's losing. But if you say something to him, it's a problem. Skip has his own problems because I kind of know about his family based off his story. Like, I know his story because I've read it on Wikipedia, and he's actually confirmed it with his own words. So this is not me just thinking I know. This is me listening to Skip as well about the family that he comes from. He comes from a family that was in the food industry, okay? Barbecue joint, and his dad was an alcoholic. I think his mom was an alcoholic. Everybody in his family, and I'm going to get back to what I was going to say, but everybody in that family kind of did what the family wanted them to do in the food industry, but Skip wasn't into none of that. He actually hated the food industry, right? He was more artistic, and he was like that black sheep of the family and things of that nature. But me just knowing the things that Skip went through, you can tell from a psyche, like that's always going to be deeply rooted in his psyche. He's going to be who he is until the day he died. He never got the therapy he needed. He never uprooted that out of him, ever. And it's never going to go anywhere. So he's always going to be who he is. It's unfortunate, but it is what it is. So you go back to this situation, he's mad because he's losing. And instead of just like conceding or just moving on, he wants to get personal. What happens when a person gets personal? A lot of times when a person gets personal with you, you're not going to stay on task of talking about what you need to talk about. You're going to start focusing on the thing that he's getting personal about, or anybody's getting personal about. Club Shay Shay pulling more views to Undisputed anyway. Felt zesty type and Shay Shay. That's funny. But I love Shannon Sharp, dude. I really do. I like his mannerisms. I like the way he acts. Because this is the thing. If somebody were to call me, let's say gay or something, it wouldn't bother me. I don't have any type of, how can I explain it? I'm not attracted to dudes at the least. Me personally. I'm just talking about me. I don't know anything. Shannon says he doesn't swing that way either. I'm gonna take him by his word. Okay. The way he dressed, I like the way he dressed. I have no issue with it. He's like, look, I got a nice body. I want to wear clothes that fit on my body. Wear them. That's cool. I have no issue with that. I'm not big on wearing strap bags. I have no issue with them, but I don't wear strap. I just don't wear them. You know what I mean? But going back to the situation with Skip and Shannon, if you notice, when Skip had said what he said about Shannon during that situation with Tom Brady, what ended up happening was he said he's better at 45 than, well, he's playing at a higher level at 45 than you was at 35. And then fast forward, Shannon kind of just went and talked about like, I'm paraphrasing, of course, I'm nothing to sneeze at. I'm an effing Hall of Famer. And he kind of poo-pooed that. And then he still was like, I think he was like, what did he say? I think he said Tom Brady's better than you. And then Shannon, if you notice what Shannon was actually about to tell the truth for one of the first times on the show. He was like, he was going to say, I'm better than you. And when he meant he was better than him, not like I'm better than you because I'll play football and you didn't. He was talking about as a effing commentator on like a TV commentator, as a TV personality that speaks sports. That's what he was going to say. He is better than Skip. The proof is in the pudding. You see the views, you see the monies that's being made. He's better than Skip. He's better than Skip that Skip has ever been at any point of his career. Now, so that's not, to me, it's not even up for debate. Now, there may be some things like Skip is a really good writer. That's what he should have stuck with. I think Skip is 2-time writer of the year from like out of the state of Texas, if I'm not mistaken. I could be wrong, but I think out of the state of Texas, Skip wrote, he won the award writer of the year. How do you win that? I don't know, but I think he's 2-time writer of the year. You could go fact check me on that, but I believe that's the case. But he doesn't have the personality that Shannon has. He doesn't have the experiences that Shannon has. Shannon is like the information that's stored in his head. That dude's head is like a damn supercomputer. He I don't know, man. That dude's mind is crazy. That's impressive shit. He just remembers a lot of information, and he doesn't let that shit leak out. It stays there, and he's able to recite it or just speak on it verbatim or whatever it is. Skip doesn't have none of that, man. No, I think when it comes to Skip, his best qualities is his storytelling. That's why I think he was if you really listen to some of the stuff he would say, the storytelling part as he's trying to draw a picture for you is good. But unfortunately, the deep-rooted frustration and malice that he has in his mind and in his heart, he always revert back to wanting to debate, wanting to yell, wanting to scream. And it's like, Skip, that's not when you at your best. You at your best when you are painting a story to the people while you're trying to get across your point that you're trying to get across. That's when he's at his best. Anyways, man, I done spoke an hour more than what I was supposed to. I hope y'all enjoyed this video. With that being said, I'm gonna get my musty self out of here. I love y'all. I hope y'all enjoyed. If you didn't hit that like button, and for some reason you made it this far and you still looking at me wearing this damn is this Naruto? Because my boy got me this and he thought I was a Naruto fan, which I ain't got nothing against Naruto. My son loves Naruto. I'm a Hunter guy. Y'all say Hunter x Hunter, but I'm a Hunter guy. You know, Gon and Killua, Claropico, Liario. They're my guys, you know. Or that movie, that show is like my favorite show of all time, Hunter. Anyway, if you're still here, man, I really, really appreciate that. And I would greatly appreciate it if you hit that like button. And I'm not going to make any promises, but I will do my best to try to do a live for y'all. And we can talk about different topics and we can just have a good time over here, man. I want y'all to enjoy yourself. So I'm going to end it there. If there's any other question you would like to ask before I get off, you can. But I'm going to ready to shut this thing down because, like I said, I got to jump in the shower, get my clothes together, jump in this bed, have my alarm clock set, and then get up tomorrow for my leg day. But yeah, Shannon, he's at that next level, man. To me, he's the best. He's the best sports personality on TV right now. I can't name anybody that's better than Shannon right now. That's on major media. Nick Wright isn't better. Nick Wright's good, but he's not better than Shannon. I'm trying to think who else. Stephen A. Smith is not better than Shannon. Obviously, Skip Bayless is not better. I'm trying to think who else that does majors. The only person that a person could say that's on Shannon's level, especially if we're talking about money-wise, would be Charles Barkley. But if you asking me to pick one or the other, I'm taking Shannon. That's just me. I'm going to take Shannon. Number one, because Shannon just has more things that he can talk about. Shannon knows more football than Charles Barkley knows basketball. So if Charles had to talk about football, nobody's going to want to hear it at all. But you will listen to Shannon talk about basketball. But football, you know Shannon knows his football. So, yeah, I think, in my opinion, Shannon is the number one sports personality when it comes to major sports media. He's number one on the planet right now. Now, there may be some guys y'all can name, but I'm taking Shannon, number one. I know Pat McAfee has built his channel up higher at this point in terms of, like, I think he has over so many, like, 2 million. compared to Nightcap and stuff like that. But I think Shannon's that dude. It's what it is. I'm not taking anybody over Shannon. He's number one draft pick for sports media right now. And it's not, I don't want to say it's not close, but damn near. The dude is the real deal. And he's showing you how versatile he is. He was on CBS for over 10 plus years. So when he's giving interviews, he can be an interviewer, but he can also have the conversation. And most people are more inclined to listen to a conversation than just listen to somebody being interviewed. You want to see both people kind of go back and forth. And that's what made the Cat Williams interview so important. I mean, so awesome. I actually, based off the things I know, I actually enjoyed the Joe Rogan's conversation more. If you go and look at the Joe Rogan conversation with Cat, I enjoyed that conversation more. But in terms of the conversation being had and just enjoying one another, laughing, kikiing, that conversation was better. And it obviously ended up getting more views. Like number one, I think it's number one viewed interview right now out of everybody. And I think number two is Joe Rogan. But it ain't Joe Rogan with Cat, it's Joe Rogan with, I forgot the gentleman's name. But yeah, Shannon's number one right now. He's probably going to be that for a while. I just hope Shannon don't get aside himself and have that superiority complex. I just hope he doesn't mess himself up. And I don't think he will. I think Shannon's too smart. I think he understands he's not going to let history repeat itself. He may have some moments and people are going to be pissed off at him, but I don't think Shannon's going to allow himself to mess himself up. But yeah, Shannon's good, man. The dude is on another freaking level. I know I sound like I'm glazing the hell out of Shannon right now, but he's that good. I can't take nothing from him. I really can't. But like I said, he did apply never outshine your master to Skip. And I knew that since the beginning. When I was watching the show, I'm like, damn, he's dialing back a lot on Skip. But he can't make Skip feel threatened. And I think what happened was he applied never outshine your master, and Skip still got threatened. You know why? Because Skip actually read y'all comments. And what happened was he saw that mostly everybody comes to the show for Shannon, not him. And he read that shit, and he's like, oh, okay. Oh, so Shannon's better than me. And what happened was once he felt like, which he knew Shannon was better, but what happened was now he wanted to try to disrespect Shannon, get Shannon out of his character to try to paint him as this mad black guy, try to be slick and try to push him out another way. But Shannon still remained. He kept his cool and stuff of that nature. And then, of course, they had that last moment when he said what he said to Shannon when he was talking about Tom Brady, glazing the hell out of Tom Brady because Shannon just had some small criticism, even though Shannon knows that Tom Brady is amazing. Tom Brady is amazing, but he still went after Shannon in a personal way. And then when he said that he's way better than you, he was like, I'm better than, and he stopped himself because he was gonna say I'm better than you, meaning that I'm better than you at what we're doing now. We're both TV personalities. I'm way better than you. Shannon is way better. And you can go back and watch that. Go back to type in Shannon Sharp, Skip Bayless, Tom Brady discussion or something like that, or break up the discussion that broke him up. Whatever you need to type in, go watch the part when Skip said that he was better, like Tom Brady was way better than him, and when he was about to say I'm better than you, but he stopped himself because Shannon is going. Even though Shannon knows he's going to be done with this show, Shannon can't burn bridges. Shannon's smart. That's one thing I pride myself on. That's not one person on this planet I've burnt bridges with. Not one. Not one. I can call up anybody that I've ever lived with in my life. I can call them up right now and be like, hey, bro, I'm on hard times. You think I can stay there for, 3 to 4 months? I'll still pay in on some bills here, but I just need a place to stay for a period of time. No issue. There's not one person I've burnt bridges with. None. When I stayed with somebody, I always ate as less as possible. I always did most of the cleaning. I always made myself valuable somewhere. I never made myself a nuisance. I never put anybody in a mindset to be like, damn, I want him here. This motherfucker dirty. He don't clean shit. He eat every fucking thing. He don't work. He lazy as shit. No, absolutely not. I call my mom. I call my mama right now. I don't got two phones. My phone case is here. My phone is sitting here. But I can call my mama right now. Hey, I need to move in with you. Hey, come on. I call my sister right now. My other sister. My other brother. I mean, my brother only got. Well, I got one brother on my mom's side, but on my dad's side, he was popping them things out, boy. He was at. Hey, look, he was getting in. I ain't finna hold you. But I call my bro. You know, bro Mark. I can hit up my Uncle Dirk. I can hit up anybody that I've ever lived with. I can call them now. Because I always think long term too. That's how I am. And Shannon does the same thing. Shannon is never going to disrespect Skip. No, he shouldn't. He shouldn't. He's always going to give credit to Skip for his career, at least in that for that time period. He's never going to. Shannon could be on top of the world because Shannon right now to me is the number one personality. Somebody's gonna have to somebody's gonna have to bring out the Brinks truck for him. If Charles Barkley is making $200 million, Shannon is worth at least 4 to 5. I'm just saying. If Charles Barkley's worth $200 million, Shannon is twice as that. You can't convince me he's not. He's already built 2 channels. He got one channel that's heading towards 3 million subs. He's already made more money on that channel. He made more money in the cat interview. The cat interview. We're not talking about all the other clips he cut off from the cat interview. Just the cat interview. He said this. I made more money in one interview. Remember, it's only been out for 60 to 70 days. I made more money in that interview than I have in 1 year, that like whatever year it was, the highest year that I made in my NFL career. And that's on that one interview. We're not even talking about what his channel's worth or the views accumulative for his channel, y'all. We're just talking about that. We're not even talking about the sponsorships he get paid. My point is, Charles Barkley can't go build a channel up to over 1 million, 2 million. Like people like Charles Barkley, he ain't building no channel. He can't. Him and another person, like if him and Shaq created a channel right now, they couldn't build that channel up like Shannon. And Charles, let's just be honest. No disrespect towards Charles. I'm happy that he's in a position where he doesn't have to work hard, but he's low key lazy. He's not going to want to work like that anyway. Again, nobody works like Shannon. They don't have a personality like Shannon. They just don't have it. Like I said, Shannon is that dude right now. To me, again, somebody's going to have to break that truck off. He's worth on the low end $400 million. I'll say $500 million. I can't say that about nobody else. No other TV personality. And I'm talking about a 10-year. We're not talking about 20 years. We're talking about a 10-year span. Shannon can get 450, 500 million. So you're talking about 40 to 50 million a year. Tell me I'm wrong. I don't think so, though. I don't think nobody has it like him. He's that dude, and I think he's going to get better. That's the scary part. He's not going anywhere. He's in his, like, from a TV personality-wise, he's in his prime. He'll probably slow down in the next 15, 20 years. At that point, he probably ain't going to be on TV no more anyway. So yeah, that's my thing. That, like I said, man, I'm definitely gonna have we're gonna have other topics, man, where we're gonna talk about a lot of different stuff. But yeah, I think the dude is fantastic. I mean, Nightcap is already at 1,100,000, like over 1,100,000 some thousand subscribers in like 4 or 5 months. That's insane to me. That's beyond insane. And then his club Shay Shay almost at 3 million subscribers. If not, they already there. That's amazing, man. The guy works. And that's one thing that Shannon made me realize. I'm like, dude, you don't work hard enough. And I put in a lot of active hours when it comes to like childcare, gig work, I work, but I'm talking about here. And I get it. He got his own editors. He got his own this and that. That doesn't make ain't no excuse. Anytime you get a chance to talk or do something, you need to be putting in some work, dude. But yeah, Shannon work his that man works. I definitely can appreciate his work ethic, man. It's very it's salute, man. Salute to Uncle Shay. Salute to Uncle Shannon. Dude's on another level. Anyways, man, I'm done glazing Shannon. I hope y'all enjoyed this video. If y'all enjoyed, please hit that like button. Also, just make sure you stop by in the coming up videos, because like I said, I'll definitely be here in the coming up. I'm gonna try to do a video tomorrow, and I just want to get y'all input on some of the things y'all would like to talk about. I try not to be overly political because I don't want my channel being hit with no goofy shit, because y'all know how this goes. But if it's something within reason, we can talk about it. If I, if it's something that's out of my my range, I'll just say, hey, I can't talk about that. But for the most part, I just want us to enjoy one another and just chill, man. That's what it's supposed to be about. I don't want y'all coming to my channel all tensed and frustrated every time y'all over here. Like, I don't want to be complaining about women all the time. I don't want to be complaining about men all the time. Now, we can have those conversations, but I don't want to be over here just complaining. I want to talk and just have a good time with y'all. That's what it's supposed to be about. It's supposed to be about us just having a good time. You go into I say what I'm going to say for about 5, 10, 15 minutes, and then you go into the comments and you give your thoughts, and we just kind of go back and forth. You know what I mean? Anyways, man, I know I've said this already 113 times, but I'm going to get off of here. I love y'all, and until the next video.